Bonjour, hello everyone. I'm Nata, host of the Nata PR School podcast. You're a successful entrepreneur or marketing manager and you're about to launch a new product or service, or you've been selling your goods for quite some time, but you want to learn how to increase your visibility, get known, and reach more clients? At Nata PR, we deal with real clients every day and we'll teach you simple, fun, and honest PR solutions. You'll learn easy steps to combine PR to social media right now. Keep listening and let's get started. Bonjour, hello everyone, and welcome to the Nata PR School podcast, episode number 31. The newswire. What's it good for? Is it still useful, the newswire, in year 2020 and more? For those who remember a time when there was no internet, yes, young marketing friends, there was a time where internet didn't exist. You may have seen in movies, maybe, newsrooms or TV newscast, a device. Used to be kind of a machine, and then it became a fax machine that was printing out releases in a continuous hard copy feed day and night. That's the forerunner, the real ancestor of the newswire as we know it today, because today, obviously, it still exists and it's online. So what is the newswire and what's it good for today? That's what we'll be exploring today in this podcast. And just to make things clear and maybe more easier to understand, I love to start with a definition that's been around for quite a while, but that I find pretty accurate. So here's the definition. The newswire is a service that uses telecommunications to transmit press releases on a rolling basis as they come in to a set of targeted recipients locally, nationally, and internationally. That's the newswire. Does it? This definition makes you think about Twitter? Well, yes, it makes complete sense because Twitter, even if it's a social media, it is very similar to a newswire. So for those who are young and can't picture a fax printing night and day, you can think about Twitter having all these news. It's not only news, though. This is why a newswire is different from Twitter, because Twitter will present whatever information you put in there. So it's not just news. It is sometimes news, obviously, but it can be all kinds of information. You can present products, video, and all kinds of information in a sort of all-access newswire. But it's kind of very similar to a newswire. The newswire we're talking about here, though, is just for sharing press releases and news stories. There are several newswires in every country. So the newswire is a service provided by a company. I like to give the example of Cision because it's a company that's becoming huge. They bought, I don't know how many databases in how many countries, but they are quite present in all over North America, in many European countries, in France. They are. And I will put at the end of this podcast in the show notes, you'll have some links to go and dig deeper and find out more about what Cision is offering. But you'll find other newswire. If you look online and you just Google newswire, you'll have other companies, obviously. But I like to give Cision as an example because they own several of these services in many countries. So if you want to spread a news story through online and traditional media, you can contact a provider, so a company like Cision that offers newswire services, and you can ask them to publish your press release in exchange of money, obviously. It can be sometimes expensive. It depends how long is your press release because they have a cost per word sometimes. And if you want to add a few pictures, video, it can add up very quickly and become expensive. So this is why we don't use it all the time with all of our clients. So sometimes we don't use it and we just use our own database. So if you work with a company like Cision, this time your press release will be distributed to their database online, not on paper, because everything is online now. And what are the benefits of paying for a press release to be sent out over a newswire? Are there any advantages? Of course there are. I like Newswire. There are 5 main reasons. The first one is you're going to reach hundreds, if not thousands, of media outlets, journalists, and sometimes even influencers and experts in your field. So it's a great way to benefit from someone else's database. Number 1. Number 2, these so-called expert or journalists can relay your story to their readers, write about you, and ultimately reach your customers. That's number 2. Number 3, you're maximizing your positioning as an expert and a leader in your market. This is one goal that I love because it really helps positioning a company. When you're building your own profile, you're working and investing in your brand. So number 3, you maximize your positioning as an expert. Number 4, you'll move to the top of browser searches based on, some certain keywords. If you have a new technology or innovation, it's great for that. And number 5, it's a very useful and powerful tool for optimizing your SEO. Yes, because a newswire is something important, and the algorithm love newswires because it's serious, it means you've published some very specific information. So it will really help you, take some shares and be more present and sometimes be in top of searches. So you don't need to hire an agency to get these 5 benefits. But you better be sure your press release is perfect, that it has all the important keywords, clickable links. It comes with great images, videos that can be linked to and shared. That will be, the information you put there, you want people to take it to write articles, take your pictures, and it can sometimes seem overwhelming and difficult to do, but you can always work with an agency similar to us, a PR agency that will advise you and help you to write your story, will help you defining your words and key phrases, choosing your images, and selecting the best strategy for getting your press release out there and getting the most views. Because there are times, it's very similar to social media even here, because there are better days, better time where you should put your press release on the newswire and have it published on a certain time. You can request for that in advance, and they will program your press release to be sent out at a certain date, certain time. And keep in mind that for a fee, an agency can also share its own list of media contacts. Well, we won't give it to you, but we'll send your press release to our own database. This is why it can really be powerful if you are working with an agency that's going to send your press release to their own database and complement with a newswire. Having your press release on a newswire can be very, very powerful. We don't recommend the newswire to all of our clients all the time, but it can be super powerful and useful. Let's say you have a new ingredient that you want to promote and you're part of these new companies using it. For example, we did it for a company that was using sustainable cocoa, and they wanted to be among the first showing up, appearing on searches when people were doing some in their market, looking for sustainable cocoa. And it's still even today, when you look for a sustainable cocoa in their market, they appear among the first researchers. So this is why it's great. And that's a perfect example of when you should be using a newswire. Or it's also understandable if you are a company on the market, you have to announce your result. So, of course, you will be publishing press releases on newswires. But these companies are there to help you, and if you want to publish something online, then you can contact them, obviously. And keep in mind that for a fee, an agency will also help you to do that. But if you're a solopreneur and you have limited resources, this is why we're doing this podcast, is really to inform you, and we really want to help you. So get on our list, go on natapr.com, and we will be announcing soon some free webinars where we'll be teaching other in-depth some of the information you learn in this podcast. But if you want to go in-depth and have some great tips on how to combine PR and social media and use them extremely well, Of course, we'll have our trainings and you'll have the chance to work with me. And so you'll have access to a top senior PR social media expert, and I'll be happy to teach you everything I know. So follow us, go on natapr.com. And if you want to know more about the Newswire, I have a link down in the notes. So hopefully you've learned a few things and now you have a better understanding of what is a Newswire. And I hope you'll join us next week. À la semaine prochaine. Hey, you want to learn more about how to implement PR strategies? Head on to natapr.com and get on our list. You will also receive the Nata PR model on how to create a successful PR campaign. If you want to become a client, just send us an email to nata@natapr.com. Talk to you next week. À la semaine prochaine.